She didn't even gotta do this revenge plot. He was out working, trying to get money for the both of them to get out of the situation. Hi everybody, welcome back to The Wonder of Anime. I'm your host, Lisa, and we are back with one of my favorite video series that I am having right now, and that is our Firefly Wedding videos. I am here to talk about the incredible, the salacious, the toxic Volume 3. And I'm a little bit late. This came out in July, and I had an arc to this, but the stars hadn't aligned for me to record it. But the stars aligned today, and we are here, and we're going to talk about Firefly Wedding Volume 3. This story, each volume just gets better and better. I am always impressed with the writing, and I love that I don't always know where the story is going. But we are going to go ahead and get into that. Now, as a reminder, this contains complete and explicit spoilers for Volume 3 of the series. So if you have not read Volume 3 of Firefly Wedding and you do not want to be spoiled, I highly suggest that you stop this video and come back after you read it. But if you don't care, welcome. Grab a drink, enjoy yourself, not knowing anything that we're talking about. But we're going to go ahead and get into all of my thoughts regarding Volume 3 because I had so many. Right off the bat, I was so proud of my girl Sakoto because she is finally tapping into that inner strength that we knew she's always had inside her. She kind of comes to this point where internally she realizes that she's relying on Shinpei way too much, and if she's going to escape the situation and get back to her family, she needs to toughen up. She also reckons with herself, like, I've been through worse. I can definitely get out of this situation and carry on forward. And we really see this put to the test when the other girls try to harm her. In that moment where Yukari and her lackeys are trying to get back at Sakoto and harm her in some type of way, she kind of realizes that Yukari's lackeys are really just being taken advantage by Yukari. And she uses that to her advantage, and she starts almost kind of reverse psychologing them and being like, really, should you really be listening to Yukari? Like, you guys are already about to be in trouble with the madam. Do you really want to make the situation worse for yourself? And of course, because the girls don't want to get in trouble with the madam, they are easily influenced and quickly switch over to Sakoto's side to kind of help her get out of the situation with Yukari. Of course, Shinpei comes in right before Sakoto could really do any damage to Yukari, although I don't know, was she really not? We don't know. We don't know. But we do know that Shinpei kind of takes advantage of this moment and is straight up with Yukari and lets her know, look, I do not have any feelings for you. I've never had feelings for you, but I do apologizing for not making that clear and making it think that you had a chance with me. And he also recognizes that he hurt her by not being clear with his feelings this entire time. I also really like this part for Shinpei because it is showing growth in his character. Prior to meeting Sakoto, I don't think he really thought ahead about anything, and I definitely don't think that he thought about anybody else other than himself. Hence why we see that he has inadvertently led Yukari on. But kudos to him for growing up and being like, actually, let me reel it in and let me tell you that I don't have feelings for you and make this super clear so there aren't any more problems. In this volume, we also get confirmation of Aoi's true colors. Now, I'm pretty sure in my previous video for volume 2, I said, like, we don't know if she's in on it, helping Yukari and the other girls, what her motives are. Is she actually being a friend to Sakoto, or is she just, like, trying to get revenge? And the answer ended up kind of being like all of the above. She actually wanted to get revenge on Yukari and the other girls for taking her man, and she wants to do so by befriending Sakoto and letting her kind of be the victim and ruin Yukari's life at the same time. Like, her thought process in this wasn't all the way the best, but really she was really hurt about the situation of losing her man, and this is kind of all that she came up with. And I think this really is a little bit sad because it seems like she did genuinely want to be Sakoto's friend and was being kind to her, but behind the scenes she's having all this turmoil because of her revenge plot. And then it comes to a head where she runs out of the brothel. She gets chased up this cliff, and she about to throw herself off the cliff. She's like, you know what, I don't deserve to live. I don't have my man with me. My man was like taken away by these other girls, and it's basically just about to throw her life out. And this is another moment where I feel like Sakoto really shines in this volume, because she's like, go ahead, girl, throw yourself off this cliff. But what does this prove about you? What does this prove about the love that you have for your man? Like, if you love him, you're easily going to give up, and you're just going to be, like, give in to Yukari and her lackeys. And it's another moment of Sakoto realizing she can have the upper hand, kind of mentally manipulating people in a way. And I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for doing like this reverse psychology to get what she wants. Luckily, she's able to stop Aoi from committing suicide, although they do end up falling off the cliff and Shinpei rescues them. But, good on her for kind of being like, talking some sense into Aoi, which is like, girl, why was you about to kill yourself over the situation? I mean, I get it. You're in this brothel working, and this man really is the only man that pays attention to you. You believe that you're in love with each other, and you lose that. And you feel like you don't have any value outside of that. But I don't think it's worth losing your life over. That's just me. But we do see later on, like the extra or the end of the volume, that he actually was just trying to get his money up. He was trying to get his money together so he could buy her and they could leave the brothel together. He was never taken away by Yukari and her lackeys. She didn't even gotta do this revenge plot. He was out working, trying to get money for the both of them to get out of the situation. But I'm glad that she had her happy ending, even though she tried to fuck Sakoto over in order to fuck Yukari over. Next, we see Shinpei and Sakoto come to the point where they are going to leave. They finally got themselves together to leave the island, and they plan this escape. Little do they know, on their way to leave and while they're on their boat, they get attacked by somebody who I can't remember his name, but he is someone who's very, very familiar with Shinpei and is like, y'all not gonna get out of the situation. You're not gonna get out of the situation. I'm gonna kill you guys. I'm gonna kill you, Shinpei, and we're gonna take Sakoto. And Shinpei is like, nah. That is not going to happen. Not on my watch. So all of these assassins are trying to kill him and attack him. And because he promised Sakoto that he wasn't going to kill anybody anymore, he really gets gravely hurt, because he is fighting, but he's not fighting to his full capacity because he's not going to kill anybody. So he gets gravely hurt. They actually both end up washing ashore, basically back to where they started, and they do not get to escape on this attempt. Shinpei gets really severely injured, so when they land up on the beach, Sakoto has to like do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to bring him back. He basically drowned, I guess, in the water, not to mention all of these injuries that he has. Luckily, she's able to nurse him back to health. Back at the brothel, she's taking care of this man 24/7. And she is, doing what she can to bring him back. Luckily, he does wake up again, and after kind of learning, like, him and her had this kiss on the beach, although she doesn't consider it a kiss because she was just trying to save his life, and Shinpei realizing, like, wow, she actually does have feelings for me, because why would she do all of this stuff for me? And they have a very heated moment where they have like a true, genuine, passionate kiss. So much so that Sakoto stays up all night thinking about it because she was so worked up. So things are heating up between the two of them. Sakoto isn't saying outright, like, I love this man, I have feelings for this man, but it's very clear based on her actions and how afraid of losing him that she was. She's falling for this man. I said it before, I'll say it again. That's her man. I just need her to wake up and realize, like, okay. But I get her. She has to go back home. So she's going to try her best to get back home. The volume ends. We learn that somebody from Sakoto's past, from her family, from her childhood, has come to the brothel and is ready to take Sakoto home. And that's where it ends. That's where this volume leaves us, in anticipation for what is going to happen next. Now, I will say the childhood friend, he's hot. He is attractive. He does look very good. He don't got that toxic, crazy, hot energy that Shinpei does, but he doesn't look bad himself. We're going to have to see next volume where this goes next. My predictions, of course, I know that this guy from the past, from the family, this is going to cause emotional turmoil within Sakoto, but I don't know if it's going to happen that soon that she realized she's going to have to make a choice between her old life and Shinpei. I'm wondering if she's gonna go home and kind of be like, all right, I'm going home, realize things aren't what they seem at home, and then try to make her way back with Shinpei. I don't know if she's gonna try to take Shinpei home with her. I don't know. The thing with this series with Firefly Wedding is I feel like you kind of think you know where it's going and it's going to have some predictable storytelling, but then an element will be thrown in that like throws a wrench in that. So I don't want to get too hooked on my theories. I don't want to get too caught up in those predictions, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's a path that it takes. But again, and I think I mentioned this either in my first video or my second video about volume 1 or 2, is that I don't completely trust that her family at home isn't responsible in some way, shape, or form for her kidnapping. And I still am holding on to that belief, and I'm still thinking that something additional is going to happen because of that. I don't know. It's given to me, like, I just still feel like there's something there. Like, her getting kidnapped just was really well orchestrated, and I don't think that it wasn't an inside job. Now, I don't think, at least at this point, I still don't think like her father was responsible, but I think somebody in that family, the stepmom, I think she got a stepmom, the sister, somebody there needed to get rid of her for someone else to move up and do something, and that's what I think happened. So we're just gonna have to stay tuned. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But those are my predictions. But I'm always ready to be proven wrong. I don't know if you guys saw my Dame video with River Bay Road Men's Dormitory. Still haven't failed to follow up to that, but I was way wrong in my predictions, and I'm okay with being wrong. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I would love to know your thoughts if you read volume 3. What do you think is going to happen in volume 4? I don't know. I'm excited. I love this story, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. A big thank you to NetGalley and Viz for allowing me to have an arc of volume 3, because baby, I needed that in my heart. I needed that in my veins. I love the story so much. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.